Hey guys, I'm Azra, and in this Lord of the Rings Rise to War video I'm going to bring you an update about week 6 on both of my accounts. Let's first start with my good side account. First of all, let's see with which commander I am PvPing right now. Of course it is Thorin. I'm still continuing with my respect level 5 Thorin. This is the gear, nothing has changed. It is still a gigantic hammer with rend and Durin's plate with fortitude of soldiers. Unfortunately I still don't have tactical maneuvers, so I'm making do with the second best special effect. Then Hunter's Guide Aegis. Now this helmet is a big help since I am running Thorin in a 3-unit army composition, and the anti-madness it provides for the first 4 rounds as well as anti-stun is highly appreciated. I just need to further refine my Hunter's Guide, but I lack another Hunter's Guide to make it 3-star refined. I'm just waiting on that one. And of course Erebor's Pride with Eregloon formation is just perfect for Thorin. It just works with his troop boosting build. That's my first commander. I've also leveled my Dain a bit. I have given him my leftover gear, and that is my Battle Axe with Flay, Superior Havoc with Fire Protection, and Brutal Hammer with Melee Vigor. He also has Fiddle of the Elders with Blitz. That will give him the first hit. And I am running the following build with him. I've tried out the Dwarven Grid up until this moment many times, but that isn't as good as the build you are seeing right now. Like the Ironfoot tree maxed out here with the R3 build works much better than the Dwarven Grid build at low respect levels. But once I have him at higher respect levels, that's where Dwarven Grid will start to shine, especially if you have his unique. He's going to be so strong with his unique. But anyway, that's what works right now. I will also share a battle report later. Let's jump over to the map and see what has happened. So this season looks pretty much over since Team Purple and Orange have shown that they dominate the whole map. Nothing can withstand them. It is still the same situation, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a little PvP fun like Team Black, my team. We moved from this position over to the north. We are having a little fun over here PvPing with Team Orange. And speaking of Team Orange, let's share just 2 battle reports with Team Orange. I think that's good enough. So first fight is against the Sunind, and I wanted to see how my Thorin does against the War Chariot Sunind. And this is what has happened. The axe throwers are a big threat against War Chariots since War Chariots are large units and they take additional damage from Master Throwers. And what else? I think I would have liked to see how this report would look like if I replace my Guardians with T4 Erebor units like the Iron Warriors. Maybe we can keep improving this. I'm still not satisfied with it. Well, I know for a fact that once Thorin gets his respect 10 item, you will see some big changes in this report, because his R10 item makes him so strong against orcs, urukais and trolls, and Sunind's army consists of a big chunk of Morgul Arbalests, which are orc units. By unlocking his respect 10 item, you may start to push back Sunind much better than this. Like, this report is nothing comparable to this gear right now. Yeah, we just lack the unique, then it could look much different. That is the build I have right now. That's exactly the same build I recommended to you guys in my Thorin hybrid build guide. So we have some strong commander damage with 4 skills. King Under the Mountain is one of those skills. Oaken Shield is a second ability that deals lots of commander damage. Deliberate Strike as well, followed by Topple. So 4 abilities that deal damage for Thorin, and 1 ability that is just making your dwarven units more bulky. And we also spent 1 point into Well Prepared just to have a stack remover, let's say. Imagine if you're fighting against damage mitigation that works with stacks such as White Council. Whenever your units are hit, they hit back and steal away 1 stack of White Council. So that is the point of 1 point into Well Prepared. And there is a lot of burst damage mitigation skills such as White Council. Last Alliance was it, that also works with stacks that mitigates damage. And yeah, with this you just remove those stacks. So that is the point. If I had any more points, I of course would like to max out Topple, and what would be up next is either Dwarven Grid or Longbeard to have the physical damage mitigation. But which of those 2 skills makes much more sense? I still don't know. Let me show you a little visualization where we can go back and forth between these 2 skills. Dwarven Grid or Longbeard, what makes more sense? I always like to pull up my little little graph over here just to see when certain attacks land, and let's have a quick back and forth what could make sense. So Oakenshield, if maxed out, deals 390% physical damage. The same goes for King Under the Mountain, it deals 210% damage. So this ability is dealing the least amount of damage in our current build. Let's not consider Revivalist, since in this build we don't spec into Revivalist anyway, so these 4 skills are subject for discussion. Let's assume now that we are maxing out Dwarven Grid. That would mean our first 4 hits that land get the damage increase. That means Oakenshield will feel a lot of damage increase, King Under the Mountain not as so much, which is kinda a waste of 1 stack of Dwarven Grid if you ask me. But Deliberate Strike is for sure getting a big damage boost if you are lucky with the RNG and you proc the 700% damage. So Dwarven Grid with Deliberate Strike can be deadly on round 3, and also Topple is dealing a decent amount of damage. So Oakenshield, Deliberate Strike, Topple have some damage potential with Dwarven Grid. But now hear me out, there are a few things that could speak against maxing out Dwarven Grid. Remember, burst damage mitigation skills such as White Council, they can mitigate your bursty abilities just because they have been selected. Or let's say Harbinger of Darkness is mitigating your damage by a lot. Last Alliance as well. So that is kind of speaking against Dwarven Grid. What about instead of going with Dwarven Grid, you max out Longbeard? Longbeard is going to boost Oakenshield, King Under the Mountain, Deliberate Strike, Topple on each round. So that's something I already like. Even if you are getting mitigated by White Council, Last Alliance or Harbinger of Darkness in the first rounds, you still have your attacks from round 4 and onwards being boosted by Longbeard. That is how many instances of damage, like 4 here, that makes 8, 10 and 12. So 10 abilities that's not going to get mitigated by White Council, Last Alliance and also Harbinger of Darkness. But what do you guys think? What makes more sense for this Thorin? Should we go with maxing out Dwarven Grid first after Topple has been maxed out, or Longbeard? I personally believe that Longbeard is the long-term investment. But anyway, let's quickly jump over to the battle report again and see what's going on. So we have Sunind with Mirkwood Bow, Ranged Might, Hunterskin with Ranged Vigor, Trapper's Hood with Hysteria, and Wizard's Fireworks with Hunter's Mark. It's a pretty standard meta build, Sunind, and let's see in the snapshot page what's going on over here. So we have done around 200k-ish damage while having received 370k-ish damage. So that is a big L for us. But once you unlock Thorin's Respect 10 item and refine it a few times at least, you will start to see a big change whenever you fight commanders that rely on Orcs, Urukais, and Trolls a lot. And then in the detailed view, Thorin did around 90k damage, Master Throwers also around that same damage, and that is as far as we go. The enemy, Morgul Arbalest, wow, did almost 290k-ish damage. And my next report on my good side account, this is also my last report, shall be against this Gandalf the Grey. I just wanted to show you that this time I have included Iron Warriors, and let's see what has happened this time. Gear stays the same, build also stays the same. Gandalf the Grey has these items: Mirkwood Bow with Ranged Might, Hunterskin with Ranged Vigor, Trapper's Hood with Hysteria, and Wizard's Fireworks with Mend. Let's see if the skills he has selected make sense. Blindside, he has the stun, that is important. He also has the point on Wizard, first round stun. Aegis is our only way to bypass that stun, alright. And he of course has White Council. We are trying to get rid of the White Council stacks with our counter attack from our melee units. And yeah, like this Gandalf makes a lot of sense. I can't complain about that. He is running an army composition that is also considering to fighting back against Sunind. That's why he has the Dunedains. And let's see, like the Dunedains are a threat against our Master Throwers, and this should be actually a win for us. In the snapshot page, we have done 215k damage while having received around 140k-ish damage, but in the end, that is a win for us. But I think there is a few things that we could have done better if we know that we are up against the Gandalf the Grey, and that basically is Gandalf the Grey is stunning a lot. If we had an Iron Bassinet with I think the ability's name is Resolve of Dwarfs, but just to make sure, I want to see if that is the actual name. So Iron Bassinet, if we had this helmet with the ability, there it is, Resolve of Dwarfs, our units could bypass the stun for the 10 rounds and deal additional damage against this Gandalf. And also, since Gandalf the Grey is bursting a lot, imagine if we had tactical maneuvers on our Durance plate. That means our units would much better survive the burst damage of Gandalf the Grey. But we don't have it. Just wanted to point this out, that you can improve the outcome of this fight. But even without those items, we still did a good job. We can have a look in the detailed view, see that Thorin almost always reliably deals 90k-ish damage, followed by his Master Throwers also dealing a good chunk of damage. But anyway, that's what's going on my good side account. The season is pretty much over. We are just waiting to land in backend, and then we will see how to proceed. If you are wondering how to join my Discord channel, it's very easy. In each of my video descriptions, I do have a link, like over here. Go into the video description, click on this Discord icon, and then you will automatically be forwarded to my Discord. It's for free. Why don't give it a try? Now it is time to check out my Evil Side account. So on my Evil Side account, we still feel the pressure that the team of Gondor, Lindon, Arnor, Loth, and Rohan is pushing against us. Nothing has changed. We are just fighting back as good as we can. Right now, we have been fighting back at this position. Like Mad Ortok has been occupied. We are trying to retrieve it while also fighting in the Nurn region. But yeah, it's a tough spot. It's a lot of manpower we have to withstand. But that doesn't mean that FTPW has given up. Like, I am amazed by our players, how they keep continuing fighting. Like, shout out to all of these blue dots over here still resisting as good as they can. You guys are doing an amazing job. It fills me with pride to see how my FTPW brothers are keeping on fighting. Like, that is the spirit. Never give up. I think that makes much more fun for everybody. That way FTPW can claim, hey, we at least fought until the end, and our enemies can at least say, well, they aren't bored since the season is over. They still have a lot of fights against us. But this is what has been happening up until now on my Evil Side account. But look at this, Dol Guldur still hasn't been occupied, and we have to see who in the end is going to claim that prize. Will it be Gondor? Will it be Lindon? Will it be Arnor? Who knows? Time will tell. But in the meantime, let's share some battle reports. I've been continuing fighting with my beast build Sunind. I do have my Greatbeasts, and this is my Suni with the Gigantic Hammer and Rend, then Mithril Coat Tactical Maneuvers, Hunter's Guide with Aegis, and Palantir of Orphaned with Tactical Mark. I do have Greatbeasts. They are max upgraded, as you see, all the upgrades. That also goes for my other units like Morgul Arbalest, full upgrades. But my champions lack one upgrade. That isn't a game changer. Let's just forget that. And yeah, we are trying to go back and forth with various fights and see how good Greatbeasts are. So in this fight, I think I needed to include more Greatbeasts. They needed to tank much more, and also a bit more champions to survive against Pride's Isildur, who did a great job in countering my beast Sunind. Let's check out his gear. He has his unique Narsil. He has Quartered Armor with Focus Protection, Bone Mask with Hysteria. I think that is kind of a good solution if you combine it with Enfeeble, because that way you have 5 rounds in total where you increase your damage by 40% against one target. So that is actually quite strong. Then Carved Dragon Tooth with Tactical Mark, just to make sure, you know, you never know when you are fighting a Gil-galad or a Grima. And yeah, he has a big chunk of Dunedains, and he also has King of all the Dunedains maxed out. With his Dunedains, he is just destroying my Morgul Arbalests. And my Morgul Arbalests, they can't really fight back since the Sworn Knights are tanking all of the damage. In combination with Last Alliance, that is a quite tanky Sworn Knights frontline. So they do that job decently, and Keepers also do lots of damage. But I still wonder, if we had a bit more Greatbeasts, a bit more champions, can we change this outcome at at least by a bit. We will find out maybe next time. Let's see what has happened in the snapshot page. We have done around 250k-ish damage while having received 330k damage. So this is a big lose for us. Greatbeasts are expensive, but so are Swan Knights. It also takes a lot of time to conscript these guys. Let's see in the snapshot page, Morgul Arbalest, almost 240k damage. Again, I would like to see what happens with more Greatbeasts. Another fight against a very strong Dain player. I do have the same gear and same build with my Sunind. Another Greatbeasts build for my Suni, and we are fighting against this Dain. So this Dain is running a Hammer of Moria, which is a strong weapon with lethal weapon as a special effect. But don't get me wrong, I think the Axe of Khazad-dûm with Cleave is much better. Well, at least if you do the math, Cleave is proccing twice as much as lethal weapon. So that already is speaking for itself. But still, Hammer of Moria with this special effect is a good secondary or a good third choice. And then he has Durin's Plate with Tactical Maneuvers. Oh yeah, that definitely is one of the best chess pieces for Dain. I'm still looking for one for my Dain. And then Helm of the Mountain. Like, this is the best helmet for Dain. If you can at least 2 times refine it, you will feel a big damage boost. And Arrowbore's Pride with Bane of Evil Man. So this is a very deadly Dain. And as I see, he is focusing on the Dwarven Grid. Just make sure that you have enough points to also spend into Iron Foot, because Iron Foot is going to consume your Dwarven Grid stack already on round 1 because it has Rush. So if you have only 2 points spent into Iron Foot, you just waste 1 stack of Dwarven Grid. But he is a high respect level Dain, which is why he can afford this build. So amazing job from this Dain. Now let's check out the snapshot page. We have done around 300k damage while having received 340k-ish damage. And in the snapshot page, we see Morgul Arbalests have done almost 260k damage. That is quite a lot. What if we had a bit more Greatbeasts and Champions? So I really need to pump the numbers of those 2 units just to see. Out of curiosity, how much damage did Dain do? 300k-ish damage. This is the power of Dain with his unique helmet. Go get his helmet, guys. It's totally worth it. And here we are in my last battle report. Sunind with the same gear and build, but instead of Greatbeasts we have Dragoons. Let's check out this Gandalf the Grey. He is running a Dunedain heavy army composition, and many people were wondering how to counter Sunind on a budget. Well, here you have it. This Gandalf the Grey does an exceptionally good job against countering one of the stronger Sunind players. So it is possible, guys. This Gandalf is proving it. Let's check out his gear. Carver with Smite, Quilted Armor with Focus Protection, Bone Mask with Manipulate, and Iflane with Bane of Orcs. This Gandalf is a great proof of how to counter Sunind on a budget. Swan Knights, Dunedains, and Guards of the Tower. Make sure to have 1 point at least in Blindside because of the stun. You always need also 1 point into Wizard for the first round stun, and Champion of the Light will help you in getting rid of the Morgul Arbalests. And also, Convener is just mandatory. We don't even need to talk about that. So yeah, great job on this Gandalf. Let's check out the snapshot page. We have done around 190k-ish damage while having received around 200k damage. I have to give props to this player, like Big Ted did a good job with this build. And in the detailed view, Morgul Arbalest did only 120k-ish damage since the Dunedains took a big chunk out in the first 2 rounds of our units. And we couldn't really kill Dunedains since the Swan Knights were protecting them. Let's see. Yeah, you see, Dunedain's almost 160k damage. And there you go, guys. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this one, let me know by leaving a like, consider subscribing, and share the video. It helps a lot. You can't imagine how you are helping Uncle Azra if you share this video. And that being said, I see you guys next time.